Democratic presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders battle for votes in Kentucky today. What each thinks of their chances in this state's primary.
It's been a slow day at many polling places. We'll take a look at voter turnout.
We're tracking the search for a thief police say cost a business thousands of dollars during a break-in.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good afternoon. First responders are on the scene right now of a two-alarm fire in a Lexington neighborhood.
Firefighters were called to a home on Stansbury Cove about 25 minutes ago. That's in a neighborhood right off of Hayes Boulevard. This is a picture sent to us a little bit ago. You can see a large amount of smoke. The fire department says a second home is now on fire. We have a crew on the way, and we will bring you the very latest as we receive it. It is Kentucky's turn to have a say in the 2016 Democratic race for president.
Voting in the 2016 primary began early this morning and will continue for the next hour or so in the central and eastern parts of the state. As Craig Boswell shows us, both Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders need a win here. It begins our campaign 2016 coverage at 5.
Bernie Sanders is optimistic about his chances in Oregon and Kentucky.
Well, I feel about Oregon and Kentucky the way I usually feel, and that is if there's a large voter turnout, I think we'll win.
Sanders is on a roll, having won the last two primaries, but Hillary Clinton has 94% of the delegates needed and is on track to secure the nomination in June.
Hello, Lexington!
Clinton has invested time and money in Kentucky trying to slow Sanders' momentum, but she has saved most of her firepower for Donald Trump, even mocking his potential debate answers.
And if one answer is, I'm going to do it, I know how to do it, I'll get it done, but I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do.
Clinton's spending more time focusing on Trump during her campaign speeches, and in an interview with Fox host Megyn Kelly, Trump says he will hit back when attacked.
I then respond times maybe 10. I don't know. I mean, I respond pretty strongly. But in just about all cases, I've been responding to what they did to me.
A new poll shows Clinton with a 3-point lead in a hypothetical matchup with Trump. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
And Donald Trump won Kentucky's Republican caucus, if you recall, back in March. Republicans and Democrats also have to decide who they want to represent them in the race for the U.S. Senate.
Lexington Mayor Jim Gray is hoping to challenge Senator Rand Paul for the seat. WKYT's Garrett Weimer continues our campaign 2016 coverage live at Gray's election night headquarters. Garrett?
Yeah, Mayor Jim Gray will be here at Manchester Music Hall later this evening as he and his supporters wait to see how exactly the race for Senator Rand Paul's Senate seat will stack up. In a short message posted to YouTube this morning, Senator Paul says he voted by absentee ballot but was staying in Washington, quote, doing his job. Mayor Gray cast his vote this morning at his precinct, Harrison Elementary School here in Lexington. Gray told reporters he's confident he'll win the primary and be Senator Paul's opponent in November. Paul told our D.C. bureau he's not concerned about low turnout because of the Republican caucus in March.
We've got some very good opponents, and they're representing democracy in a very compelling way. And I'm proud of the race that we've run, and I'm proud of the demonstration of democracy that the entire race represents.
So it's always historically low. What I tell people is that means that your vote's very important. In fact, if you show up and vote in a primary, you're probably 5 times or 10 times more important.
We're told Senator Paul is staying in D.C. tonight because the Senate is still in session. Here in Lexington, Mayor Gray's election night party starts in about an hour. We're told the mayor will watch the election returns with his family before he comes here. Live in Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Garrett, thank you. Mayor Gray is expected to speak at his election night party after the race has been called. It has been a quiet day for many polling places.
And state officials predicted low voter turnout, but many people were not going to let anything stop them from voting today. Hillary Thornton continues our campaign 2016 coverage with more on those determined to cast their ballot.
With this less than desirable weather for the May primary, along with low projected voter turnout, poll workers here at Henry Clay High School in Lexington say they knew the numbers weren't going to be stellar, but say they are satisfied with the activity here throughout the day.
I watched the debates and I did a little bit of research and then picked who I thought would be the best candidate for our president.
Both first-time voters and those who have been to the polls dozens of times, braving the cool, rainy weather.
It's not raining that hard. We're not going to melt.
While it has not been crowded by any means, workers do say there has been a steady stream of voters in and out all day long, not going more than 10 minutes without anyone at the polls. However, with an already low statewide projection of 20% voter turnout, those at Henry Clay say they are even lower than that, estimating between 12 and 15% of their voters showing up, something that was discouraging to those saying they take pride in having the ability to vote.
For being the most free country in the world, America has a surprisingly low voter turnout, and that's really disappointing in my opinion because, I mean, you have the right to vote, you have the right to participate in your government.
We are now within 1 hour left in this May primary, with polls scheduled to close at 6 o'clock this evening. In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
And we'll have the results just as soon as they start coming in, probably shortly just after 6 o'clock. You can find the numbers on WKYT.com as well. Well, we just can't catch much of a break, it seems like, from all this rain.
No, we can't. The showers were turned this morning. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us how long the rain will stick around. Chris?
You know what? At this point, they're overstaying their welcome here across the Bluegrass State. We've had the rain all day, on and off. We've got rain out there now, and it's going to hang into the day on Wednesday, at least part of the day. Here's a live look at Hamburg Pavilion, and showers are back. You notice the reduced visibility out in front of the station with some rain, 53 degrees at current temperature, winds gusting up around 15, 20 miles an hour at times. Just an absolutely ugly day. Although southern Kentucky, you're thinking, what are you talking about? It's upper 60s, low 70s here with a hint of sunshine. Remember yesterday I said we would have a big swing from north to south. Well, Maysville 49, Middlesboro 71. There's your big swing from north to south. Low 50s into central Kentucky, 52 Danville. Defender Radar Network picking up on some of those gusty rains right on top of central Kentucky. Action, though, well to our west, getting ready to pick up the pace. That'll roll its way across the region. That future radar showing how the rains increase later this evening with one round before midnight. Then look what happens while we're sleeping. Additional showers and maybe a rumble of thunder working across central and eastern Kentucky into what will be a soggy start to a brand new day. It will end differently. We'll show you how that works out with the hour-by-hour forecast in a few.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, Chris. And we are tracking the search for a burglar who stole thousands of dollars in items from a liquor store.
The break-in happened overnight at Big B Liquor on Todd's Road. WKYT's Victor Puente shows us the destructive way the burglar got inside in a story that's new at 5.
The managers here say this thief got thousands of dollars in cigarettes. They also say he caused a lot of damage. This surveillance video shows that man breaking in through the drive-through window at Big B Liquor just off of Todd's Road. Managers say he went straight for the cigarettes, taking about 90 cartons. They estimate that's about $4,000 worth of product. They say he also got into the register, but there wasn't any money there. At one point, he tried to get into a cabinet where the high-value liquor is stored, but he was unable to get it open. Lexington police said they're going over that surveillance video to see if they can identify the man. Managers here didn't want to go on camera. They said in addition to the surveillance video, they also have a security system that includes motion detectors, but for some reason it didn't go off early this morning. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Workers at Hart's Dry Cleaning told us someone also broke into their drive-through window last night, but did not take anything. Police say a driver passed out at the wheel just before crashing into a front porch. The pickup hit the home on North Ashland and Bullock around 8 this morning. Police say the driver scraped a telephone pole and a trash can and drove through 2 yards before reaching the porch. The homeowner was getting ready for work when he heard the truck hit.
So this is probably the best outcome, that he actually hit the house, because there's a hill and it slowed him down. So fortunately he's not hurt, but he hit it apparently going full speed, according to the witness.
Police tell us the driver will not be cited. The homeowner thinks the house is still structurally sound.
Police have ruled a fire that destroyed 2 businesses and arson. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Rowan County. Fire happened on April 12th on West Main Street in Moorhead. Police say video shows someone going into one of the businesses just before the flames began. The fire caused $1 million in damage. No arrests have been made. In Madison County, a man received a 20-year sentence in an abuse case. Police say that Julio Vanderas and Linda Richmond starved a 9-year-old girl, sprayed rubbing alcohol on her wounds, forced her to stand in a cold shower, and beat her. The Richmond Register reports Valderas pled guilty to 2 counts of assault and 1 count of criminal abuse. A jury found Richmond guilty, and she received a 90-year sentence. In Campbell County, a woman received 4 years in prison for stealing from a veteran after he died. Police say that Christy Russell stole the man's military benefits and charged $30,000 on his credit card. Police found his body under a home last September, but don't know how he got there or how he died. Russell also has to pay more than $32,000 in restitution.
We want to take you back now to some breaking news that we first told you about at the top of this newscast. Right now, just in our newsroom, of a 2-alarm fire that's happening in a Lexington neighborhood. Firefighters were called to a home on Stansbury Cove about 25 minutes ago. That is in a neighborhood off of Hayes Boulevard. Now, it's hard to tell because of all that smoke that you see there, but the fire department says now a second home is on fire. We're going to bring you an update coming up on WKYT News at 5:30. The Senate votes on a bill to fund the Zika fight, how their bill differs from the House version. How good is your favorite sunscreen? What testing found in Better Living?
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Ugly weather continues across central and eastern Kentucky. Another wet day in the books and another way below normal temperature day for many of us. Look at our 9 live sky cams from across the entire area. 65 corridor, Louisville to E-Town with dry conditions. You've had some rains a little earlier. Frankfort had a little rain. It is raining right now in Lexington, Florence, Corbin, partly cloudy skies. Eastern Kentucky, Jenkins, toward the Tennessee border counties. Look at our temperatures. 70 into Harlan, 71 Middlesboro, yet it's 50 into Moorhead, 49 into Maysville. I feel like Debbie Downer talking about all the nasty stuff, but you know what? This is what we have to deal with, folks. Defender Radar Network with a couple of raindrops into parts of central Kentucky. The stuff around the Danville area working toward Richmond, Lexington Metro, it's been more of some drizzle and some very light shower action that we'll continue to see working on into town until later this evening through tonight, tomorrow morning, when we start to see even heavier rains rolling on in here. Southern Kentucky, congratulations. Right around the Lake Cumberland area, into Monticello, Whitley City, Williamsburg, Middlesboro, Pineville, sunshine down here. So maybe we could take a little road trip down 75 for those folks who are suffering with the clouds. Most areas tomorrow, waking up to rainy conditions by the afternoon. A little sun begins to shine through the clouds. So it gets better the later we get into your Wednesday. Thursday, fantastic. 70 to 75, some sunshine. Friday, down we go again. Heavy rain and some thunder and lightning back in the Bluegrass State by that time. And that's going to knock the temperatures back down. Between now and then, here's the hour by hour showing the waves of heavier rains coming through. Don't be surprised if you don't pick up another ½ inch or greater tonight into tomorrow morning. Middle of the day tomorrow, it's gray, it's upper 50s to low 60s. End of the day, mix of sun and clouds. Still can't rule out a spotty shower or 2. Now, as we go into Thursday, you want some good news? 40s to start. Okay, that's a little chilly. Sunshine to end, though. Upper 60s north, 70 to 75, I think, should be where we wind up before the afternoon is over. Then here we go again. Friday into Friday night, area of low pressure works its way right on top of the lower Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley. It's going to bring more rain into town as we go into Friday, and especially first half of Saturday. You get deep into Saturday, we may see the stuff becoming much more scattered. Isolated shower on Sunday, call for early next week. Maybe, just maybe, I'll give you 2 dry days in a row. If you behave, guys, all right? You got to be on your best behavior to get 2 dry days in a row. Next week does look warmer.
I feel like you're asking a lot from Sam and I to behave just to get 2 dry days.
Now, folks, you know why it's been so wet.
I know, it's our fault.
Our fault.
Thanks, Chris.
All right.
One senator proposing a furry solution to the long lines at airport security checkpoints. Who or what he wants to hire.
A fallen state police trooper is remembered nearly 3 decades after his death. More on the memorial on WKYT News at 5:30.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
The Senate approved money to fight the Zika virus this afternoon.
The bill is worth $1.1 billion. President Obama asked for $1.9 billion. Yesterday, Kentucky Congressman Hal Rogers introduced a bill in the House for $622 million in funding. Lawmakers on both sides say that's not enough.
We're going to spend a lot more money if we don't deal with this on the front end. If this becomes a serious outbreak, it's not going to cost $1.9 billion. It could cost $4 billion or $5 billion.
The request they sent us would allow the $1.9 billion to be used for anything in the government. It's almost like a slush fund.
The Zika virus is spread by mosquitoes. It's been linked to a serious birth defect. The money would go towards research, controlling mosquito populations, and helping countries with outbreaks. Travelers have had to deal with long lines at security checkpoints this spring. Peak times mean people flying can wait as long as 90 minutes. The Transportation Security Administration says it plans to hire 800 new security officers. Senator Chuck Schumer is proposing some of those new employees be the four-legged kind. He says using canines could cut down on wait times.
When you have a passenger screening canine, it's like pre-check, where you don't have to take off your coat or your belt or your shoes because they can smell any explosives that might be on you.
The TSA says part of the reason for long lines is because people aren't adhering to the liquids rule and bringing banned items. They're considering limiting carry-ons and asking flyers to join the pre-check program.
The National Transportation Safety Board says a distracted engineer is to blame for a deadly train crash. 8 people died in the accident in Philadelphia last year. According to the NTSB, the engineer was distracted by the news that a rock had hit another train. The agency says the lack of a speed control system also contributed to that crash. A military judge has postponed Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl's court-martial. It will now start in February instead of August. The judge says the change should give Bergdahl's defense enough time to access classified documents. Bergdahl is charged with desertion for leaving his combat post in Afghanistan. The Taliban kidnapped him and held him captive for 5 years. It's a history-making decision. The reason Midway University is allowing men to enroll in campus classes for the first time. On WKYT News coming up at 5:30.
Why marriage can help you manage a drinking habit and how good is your sunscreen. The story's next in Better Living. It's time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. How good is your sunscreen? A new Consumer Reports investigation looked at 65 lotions, sprays, and sticks to see how well they work. All of the versions tested claim to have an SPF of at least 30. Consumer Reports testing found 43% were not as effective as advertised. That leaves you vulnerable to wrinkles, sunburn, and skin cancer.
What's interesting about those sunscreens is that they are the ones that contain titanium dioxide and zinc oxide as the active ingredients. Those mineral-based sunscreens overall in our tests didn't perform as well as the ones with chemicals like avobenzone.
Consumer Reports says a chemical sunscreen with an SPF of 40 or higher worked best. Marriage can help protect you against alcohol problems. A new study found getting married reduced the risk of an alcohol use disorder by 60% for men and 70% for women. Experts say it's due to the impact of a partner modeling behavior for their high-risk spouse and offering feedback about drinking. We all love our pets. One of the best things you can do for them is to keep them healthy. Andy Rose shows us how.
Regular doctor visits are important to maintaining good health, and the same goes for our pets. Health screenings and vaccinations can help prevent some life-threatening illnesses like Bordetella, better known as kennel cough, which is a respiratory disease that can affect both cats and dogs. Reports also show that an estimated 80% of dogs and 70% of cats show signs of dental disease by age 3, which can lead to loose teeth or even chronic pain. Getting your pet spayed or neutered can also lower the risk of certain cancers. Maintain a healthy weight. Feeding your dog table scraps may seem harmless, but overfeeding your pet can actually pose a serious threat. Having an overweight cat or dog comes with health risks like diabetes, arthritis, and even cancer. Another good reason to visit your vet is to find out exactly how many calories your pet needs on a daily basis to maintain a healthy weight and live longer. Provide an enriched environment. Diet and exercise go hand in hand, and it's a great way to keep your pets healthy. Taking Fido on daily walks or playtime at the dog park can help keep their weight in check and keep them entertained.
Where do you shop most often? A data services company looked at the most popular stores in America. In the survey, stores included fast food restaurants and gas stations. Walmart claimed the top spot is the most popular store in the U.S. More than half of all shoppers visit one in a given month. McDonald's, Subway, Starbucks, and Walgreens rounded out the top 5. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.